So, we are back in the Crowd Galleries and I'm with Sally, who's from ITN News London, and we're going to do a piece for tonight, is that right?
You know we're going to film you, Brian. You do know that, don't
I do
you?
know that. I'm just interviewing her for the time being.
Just
so you know who she
getting
is.
all my I's dotted and T's crossed.
Yeah. So we'll film a few pieces and put them all together, or they will put them all together. Here's the cameraman.
Thank you, hello.
I forgot your name, I'm sorry.
It's Mark.
This is Mark, okay.
Best friend
This
Ian.
is Sally, yeah, okay. And this is Brian. So I'll give this to Pete, if you'll be so kind, and we can switch around. Here's Pete. There he is. We're switching.
Wrong calling in life, T.
Lovely.
Right.
Sorry, Brian. I thought it's got the wrong end of the stick.
Oh no, sorry about that. Right.
Okay, right. Are you happy?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
start
we go.
wide and just-
Remember, I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's your good day, yeah.
Oh, but do you want to see this? Because that's
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll get some shots afterwards.
Oh,
Cutaways, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I might ask you to put your hand in and things like that.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, we'll keep rolling, yeah. Keep it wide.
Yeah, lovely.
See what happens.
Okay.
Right, so stand by.
Right.
So, are you ready?
I'll get you some noise now.
Quiet, please.
Very good. Wide and pitch.
Quiet, please.
Right, stand by there.
Love that.
I think we know your name. Brian May. How do you
Yes.
describe you these days? No, you don't really.
How do I describe me?
Yes, like as a little Brian May, artist in stereoscopy.
Most people just call me Brian.
Yeah.
But if they're going to call me...
We'll just go with Brian May.
Don't call me late for dinner. Yeah, I've been called Dr. May as well, because I worked really hard for the doctor. Anyone who's got a doctor will tell you this.
Oh, right.
Don't call
Well,
me Mr.
We'll
No,
go
but-
with Dr. Brian May then. Right? Okay.
You're Brian,
Right.
I'm Brian. Right, and you're Sally.
Sally, that's it. So, Brian, right. Stereoscopy sounds a bit dangerous. Explain it to us in a word.
It's a little dangerous, I suppose. It's slightly dangerous because it's a kind of it's a force that you don't realise is in your life always. You know, looking around us right now, we are seeing stereoscopically. We're seeing in 3D. We're seeing depth. You know, I can tell that you're closer to me than that. I can see the solidarity of your face. A flat picture doesn't capture that. We all take flat pictures all the time on our iPhones or whatever. But with an iPhone, you can take a stereoscopic picture. You can take a 3D picture. We just demonstrated that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, we'll do that again.
But here you have two pictures which look the same, and this goes right back to Victorian times. They're not the same because one is taken for the left eye, and one is taken for the right eye, in slightly different positions. We'll put them in this viewer, which is my self-designed stereoscope. I didn't invent the stereoscope, but I did invent this one.
Congratulations, that's
thank
no
you.
mean feat.
This is my owl, around the stereoscope company, and you put it in there, and suddenly, instead of a flat picture like this, which is good enough anyway, you suddenly see the thing in full
Okay,
depth,
just give it a go.
as if you were actually there.
I really am 4 eyes now with this one. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it just comes alive, doesn't it?
You feel like you feel like you can touch it, and
Yeah,
of course it works on everything. It works on
actually, and when you do try and touch it, it's much further away than you think.
yeah. So it works on your kids, it works on your pets, it works on your mum and dad, or landscapes, and all of these subjects are featured in the book because people photographed what they were looking at in lockdown.
Oh, so someone, for example, oh, well that wasn't England, but that looks stunning.
Yeah, from all corners of the earth.
Oh, wow. Maybe London was like that. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah,
A
maybe
bit of that
it
in
will
London.
be. Yeah.
It might be, you never know.
Yeah, so here's the mono again. This is the flat version,
Yeah.
which is lovely. But when you look in there, you feel like you can feel the wind on your face. You can see this snow all around you, as opposed to just on a flat plane. But to me, this is kind of evangelism because I want people to get it. I want people to get the excitement that I've had all these years for 3D imaging.
So how did you fall in love with it? How did it happen?
I can show you. Well, we can look at the actual device later on. But when I was a kid, you used to get toys in your cereal packets, so you might be cornflakes or whatever.
Yeah.
You get a little toy. It doesn't happen these days, does it? I think children are very deprived these days.
Totally. They get nothing.
No, why is that? Anyway, I opened my Weetabix packet, and out comes something like this, a lot smaller, with a little card which had two pictures that looked the same of a hippopotamus. And I thought, what's that? Why is it doing that? You know, and on the back it said, send away 1 and 6pence and pack it up. And put your view in there and see what happens. And I did that, got my viewer in first, put the card in, suddenly I'm looking at a three-dimensional hippopotamus. It looks like you could fall into its mouth, looks like you could feel its breath on your face. I was just completely entranced, you know, I was hooked on stereography from that day.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, why don't people do this all the time? It's possible to take an image which looks as if you could walk into it, you could talk to people, and you could, why don't we just do that all the time? And it's always baffled me. So that's what this is about. I like to bring it into the 21st century.
Have you got a couple of photos in here that are your favourite, Brian?
There's a lot of favourites. I mean, that's one of them. The
Yeah.
These are all favourites, I would
Yeah.
suppose. This is one of them. It's a classic stereoscopic subject because
Right.
it looks flat here, but of course you're looking down a long tunnel, and you're not really aware of that in the mono image. But this, look at that.
Oh, that is clever, isn't it?
Yeah,
In the tunnel.
yeah, you can actually see yourself walking down the tunnel. It's amazing. Well, that's a favourite. And things which look fairly kind of normal. I mean, this is a pleasant picture, but it looks like a sort of abstract pattern.
Yeah.
You're not really aware that there might be depth in there. You're not really quite sure what you're looking at. But you look in here, and you'll see those leaves.
Oh, yeah, that really comes alive,
Got
doesn't
big
it?
reaction. That's what I like. I like it all.
Yes, I am one with the leaf.
Yeah, it
That's
just
brilliant.
speaks to you. It's incredible. So stereography really gives you, stereoscopy or stereography, gives you this experience which you can't get any other way.
Am I going to end up in this spider's web?
Yeah. You are. Yeah, that's right.
Very clever though.
Again, it's quite pretty in one way.
Beautiful,
But
isn't
in
it? Yeah.
here,
It just comes
yeah.
alive, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Gosh, where is that? Portugal. That was terrifying.
Doesn't
Off
it?
the edge of the
Yeah, it's
world.
even more terrifying experience.
Oh, they're just amazing.
Good reaction. I'm liking this.
They totally come off the page. Oh, look, and look at this little turtle.
This is incredible, yeah.
Turtle. We just about got there.
Yeah.
Oh, look. He's so grumpy, isn't he?
It's the most beautiful view, isn't it? This guy, Masuji Suto-san.
So keep that in your eyes again. I just
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's a lovely shot.
Okay.
Just focus it in and out.
He's so grumpy. They've got the best faces, turtles.
Yeah. He's photographed by someone who actually is an expert.
Is he?
Masuji Suto is a world expert on stereography.
Yeah.
So it's mostly amateurs here, but he would qualify as a professional. He invented the system that I use for taking stereoscopic pictures, which I just used on you.
Yes.
Masuji Suto-san is an amazing brain, so I'm happy that he's represented here in the
Yeah.
book.
So I've got a good turtle joke. Do you want to hear it?
Oh yeah, come on. Yeah.
So there's two turtles sitting around, and one of them says to the other, "Oh, Lucas, but when it rains, the water collects in your mouth." And the other one says, "No." I can't do a very good turtle in front of my
very
husband.
good.
does it? And I laugh every time. Sorry, right.
That's very good.
Okay, onwards and upwards. Shall we move into the Victorian
Yeah,
section and
yeah.
see where it all began? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I'll pick you up in here.
Sorry, Brian, I couldn't resist.
That's very nice. So this is the Victorian Emporium, as we call it. We're going to have a curtain here, so it's going to be very private, and you'll feel like you're back in the 1850s
Yeah.
when it all started. This particular display shows you what happened over the years. Here at 1850s, when it all began,
Yeah.
it was a massive craze. There was a London stereoscopic company shop not far from here, which had 1 million views for sale at the time. It was a massive
A
phenomenon.
million viewers for sale.
1 million views, yeah. And their motto was "No home without a stereoscope." So
Really?
it was like the internet of its day. It's like cinema or like the movies or whatever, it all rolled into one. It's the first time the Victorians could see the world in this little box.
Yeah.
So it was a sensation. And then it all disappeared around 1860, and other things took over, like carpet receipt.
Yeah.
And then it had a massive rebirth around 1900, and that's what you see here on this shelf.
Yeah.
It was in schools, Keystone Views, it became very
Gosh.
popular again. And the standard of photography is really very beautiful by that
Yes.
time. You can take very, very high quality.
Beautiful pieces of furniture as well.
They are
aren't they?
lovely, aren't they? Yeah. Down here, we have 1950s, another big surge in stereo in the 1950s. That's when you start to see the Viewmaster. I'm sure we've all seen Viewmaster,
Yeah.
our kids or our parents. And it became possible to take your own stereos with this beautiful stereo realist camera. That changed the world in its day, because every man could take, every woman could take their own stereo pictures of their family,
Yeah.
kids growing up, their parents, and that's where I came in. I found one of those in an antique shop.
Did you?
Because it was already over. By the time I was looking at these things, it was 1960s, and this is a 50s thing. But that's a boom. And of course, we don't really see big stereo stuff until Avatar. You know, James Cameron comes along and does it perfectly. I think that film is a perfect example of a stereo film. But it's the same principle. It's not with one of these viewers, it's with these polarizing glasses, whatever. But it's the same principle. And I've interviewed him, which is fascinating. In fact, you can see my interview of him downstairs, because there's a TV with that sort of history of stereoscopy video that I made years ago for Sky 3D.
It's very interesting, Brian, isn't it, that we've got stereo sound and we're all about that all over our houses, but the 3D thing has never stuck. Why do you think that is?
It's odd, isn't it? I don't know what it is. I think it comes and goes because people abuse it, possibly. People can overdo it and make things jump out at you so you get a headache.
Right.
So people go, no, I don't want that anymore. I think. And I talked to a lady today who said that. She said, oh, I don't like to go to see 3D films because they give me a headache. And I said, well, it's unfortunate that happened. You know, I think that happened in the 1980s very much. These days people know what they're doing, and it's a wonderful experience if you get it right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's a phenomenon. There you have it. It's a sort of cyclical phenomenon. It's huge and then it disappears, it's huge and then it disappears. So I'm hoping to hasten a new age of stereoscopy in. This is a dream come true for me. We have the shop here now. I always dreamed of a stereoscopic shop right in the 80s. Yeah, it's like giving rebirth to the London Stereoscopic Company.
It very much was a London-centric thing, was it?
Yeah, England and Paris mainly, and then America after that. And after that, the whole world. So you get stereo pictures from everywhere in the world.
But it's got a place in London.
Really, yes, because it was invented by an Englishman, Charles Wheatstone, who's here.
Yeah.
He's the hero of the whole thing, Charles Wheatstone.
Is he a Londoner?
I don't think he was a Londoner. I don't know where he was born. I didn't even know that. But he was
at King's College.
Yeah, that's right. He worked in London. So I don't know where he was born. But this guy tweaked something that the whole of history had missed. In spite of the whole Renaissance, you think of Leonardo da Vinci. He got perspective, and things started to look so realistic in painting. But they didn't tweak what he tweaked, which is that we need our two eyes to see depth. And people will tell you different. Some people will say, no, it goes back to time and immemorial. It doesn't. It goes back to him. He figured it out. He figured out what happens every day when I'm looking at you, I see you in 3D. And he said, I can reproduce that because I can take one picture for this eye, one picture for that eye, put them in the viewer, and the experience will come back. This experience of 3D.
Clever.
Yeah, amazing. He's an amazing guy. Very kind of an unsung hero. Charles Wheatstone. And he was very nervous. He didn't like speaking in public. And he was a notoriously bad lecturer at his university.
Couldn't quite sell it.
No, but he was a genius. And in fact, 1832 was when he got the idea of the stereoscope, and he didn't publish until years later, when it seemed like somebody else was going to get the same idea. He suddenly thought, oh, I better publish that.
Think about it.
He presented
He's nearly 200 years old. And these are the Victorian ones that people would have seen.
Yeah, this is, again, the craze in Victorian times. Some beautiful stereos. That's to kind of standard portrait. People would go to have their portraits taken in Regent Street, just up the road. A whole bunch of great photographers there. This is T.R. Williams, a hero of mine.
You just feel like you're sort of there.
Yeah.
And it feels less like a moment in the past.
Yeah.
A moment like a real, and more like a real moment.
Yeah, it takes you there. It kind of conquers time and space. I do think so.
That's very clever, that.
Yeah.
Can you show me, Brian, how you do one? If you were going to do one on your phone, because you showed me this earlier. We could do it out there if you want.
Yeah, let's do it out there.
Nice I just want you. Can you grab a shot when we finish, Mark? Just give me a couple of shots.
I've got a few shots to do. You need lots of cuts, basically.
Yeah, that one in particular is the Weetabix one.
Have we got a loose viewer again, chap? Oh yes, we've got one there. Okay. Right. Anytime.
So, if you were going to 3D me, Brian, how would you do that?
Okay, it's very simple. You can do it without any help, just with an iPhone, but it helps if you use this little app which my friend Masuchi Suto actually designed, who wrote this out, and it's called i3D Steroid for some reason. It's a very strange name.
Something on
So
steroids.
you just go in there,
Yeah.
and it sets you up. You press this button to take pictures, a little camera icon, and I'm ready now to take a picture of you. So this is me taking a stereo picture of you.
Should I smile?
You can do anything you like, just
Okay.
relax, but don't, I'm going to do it sequentially. In other words,
Okay.
it's not going to be click, it's going to be click, click.
Okay, so I won't move.
No, don't move, but relax if you can. And don't follow the camera, just look at me.
Sorry, relax.
Or look through it. Are you ready? Right, so I go, it's as quick as that, I went click, click. There you are, it's put you next, it put the two images
Yeah,
next to each other.
slightly different, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like, you can actually see that I'm seeing more of your cheek here than I am on this
Yeah.
one. That's what they call parallax, that's what gives you a stereo effect. Little magic button there, which will just slightly adjust it, so it lines it up. And then, well, basically you're ready, you turn it sideways. Well, I can save that image first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Save stereo image, it saves it to your reel,
Mhm.
your photo reel. It's all saved. So now I go into photos, where are we? And I can find you here, there we go. And I can turn it sideways,
Eventually.
I would hope. Why can't I turn you sideways?
I did it last time, didn't
Yeah, I just have a phone now.
Oh,
There's always a fly in your eye. Why doesn't it do that?
do you want me to change the orientation of it?
Can you do that?
It could be locked.
I think it is.
Yeah.
She's very clever, isn't she?
I could never do anything like that. That was a
pretty
miracle.
close. That was brilliant. Right, so now we're set. It's on its side, and I have one of these with a magnetic back, which I don't have here, but I can just lay it in there, and you have your stereo picture all ready to go. And just need your reaction now. Sorry.
Make it a good one, Sal.
Yeah.
Oh, scary. It's a lot of Sally. See my slight double chin.
Oh,
aging.
for goodness sake.
And my lower tooth is out of place. Apart from that, I mean, it's gorgeous.
I was thinking
Not.
perfect, really.
Oh, you, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh.
Do you want to see?
It's a shame you can't really capture the 3D-ness of it with a camera.
You can't see it unless it's snake.
Unfortunately, we don't really have 3D TV at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think we will again in the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
Mm.
We'll all be sat in headsets, won't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be built into our
What I do need
eyes.
is to
Over the
redo that
shoulders.
again, please. So
Yeah.
if you could do that again, this whole sequence, and I'll
Alright.
just film you on the phone doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
the phone doing it.
All right.
Right.
This is what we go through.
Right.
Things we do for love.
So
It's
like,
false.
it's doing the whole thing again, but I'm just
Yeah.
concentrating on the phone, you doing that. Just
Okay.
so the shots of the phone.
Okay.
So
Right.
you can do it.
So here's my app here.
I'll get my focus, 2 seconds.
i3D Steroid.
Hold on. Right, got it, yeah.
Okay, i3D Steroid. And I shouldn't have had that there, should I? But pressing the camera icon, and I'm ready to take my pictures of Sally. You can just look somewhere else if you like now. Relax, you get the hang of it.
That's it. Well, just go over your shoulder, Brian.
Okay.
Go a bit closer,
Okay.
Sorry, do we move that way, Mark?
Yeah, that's it, yeah, hold it
That's
there.
background.
We have to keep the same anyway, Brian, so
Oh,
don't
okay.
worry. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
continuity.
Hold on,
Oh, all right.
hold on.
It might take a bit longer this time. Now.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, so click. Move to the right. Click. And it's done it for us. It's put the two images side by side. Little magic button here. Just lines them up a little bit.
So clever.
And you're ready to go.
Now we get thingamajig. There's Brian. It's over there.
There she is. And have a look at it. Perfect.
Oh, like Mary Poppins. Practically perfect in a way. Not. That is a lot of me.
The looking shot, Brian, yeah. Nice.
Perfect, right?
Excellent.
Extra page in the book for me, Brian. There we go.
And
Thank you, that's brilliant. Lovely little
Right.
sequence. Okay, and then should we go downstairs and see the
That's
sequence?
my favourite one. That's a nice one. Because you do look quite relaxed.
Yeah, looks like stiff and
Nice.
starchy in the other one.
This is an app you've made as well.
No, this was written by the man who took this picture. Where is it? A little bit
Oh,
over
yeah.
here.
Superman, right.
Masuji Suto, who's really a world expert on stereoscopy, and if you follow him on Instagram, you see some amazing stuff. So he did this. You know, I'm kind of honoured that he's in my book.
Before we go downstairs, I need a little walk again, sorry, just to get some cutaway
Yeah,
shots,
sure.
right? Otherwise we won't be able to cut into it, if you see what I mean. So it'll just be quite quick, but I'll focus on you and also some of the pictures you were looking at, if that's all
Okay,
right.
let's
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
We'll just go through it
Yeah.
again, quickly, sorry, Brian.
So it's just from here.
You're next.
I'm going to interview you.
I've got to
Brian might end up
So
being
what if we start from here? Yeah.
Can I take a second just to introduce? Don't go away.
Don't go away.
Just have to show you who arrived very fortuitously.
Are we live on Bright TV?
We are.
Stereoscopists of Instagram. Hello.
More.
I know you're all clapping out there because they followed my journey. I didn't get the message about this until 15 minutes before I got on my plane last night. So they've been tracking me to see if I got here in time.
Brilliant. Well,
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
happily she's here and she's going to contribute to this interview, which makes me very happy. And she can talk about what it's like to be on the cover of the book and epitomising iconically what stereoscopy is in 2022.
Thanks, Pete.
Downstairs, we go downstairs.
So we,
Do you want to do
So
a
we're going to do
new?
one more quick walk through,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the cutaways and
just a cutaway, yeah.
Sorry.
Just-
You could stop it and we could restart probably because it'd be too long otherwise. It's very, very dangerous. That's why we're doing it. Yes. It's a little dangerous because it's out of most people's normal experience, I suppose. And most people are shocked when they actually see a good stereo photograph of themselves, particularly, or of their friends, or some landscape, or some place they've never been, or a close-up of such a beautiful creature as this, or the pets or the kids. So many ways that stereoscopy can stun you, but stereoscopy is good for you.
Okay.
I hope you realise that. This is the whole.
So show me how it's
Thesis
good
of
for
the
me.
book.
So this is, you picked that up first, I think, didn't you,
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, so this is the wine, which is beautiful in itself, the normal flat picture which you can put on your wall. But this is the stereo version, and when you look at it in your outlook, it's breathtaking because you feel like you could just touch the wing there. You could just you can feel it fluttering. You feel like you're there, and it's a completely superior experience.
Oh wow, that's gorgeous. Yeah, you want to put your finger in there and it does feel further away. Yeah, it's just alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Great. So we move on to a little bit further down here. Did you look at the dogs? I can't remember.
The horses.
Yeah, the horses. So it's moving on to here.
I don't know what we did though.
I don't know. It's really just you walking along the road, so big shots. So you can get into it, you see what I mean.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so you were you?
Yeah.
You were there? No.
Walk here.
You were there? Yeah. And so you're still talking, Sally. So
Okay, and then we've got down here the. That's right. Are any of these in particular your favourite, Brian? Do you love them all?
A lot of favourites, I must say. It was very hard figuring out what to lead out of the book. These are all extraordinary, these ones here. And this looks like a work of art before you even consider that it's stereo.
Ooh. That is so extraordinary.
It is extraordinary. I'm so glad to hear you saying.
I'm saying all the right things.
Yeah.
And then this one you were telling me about.
Yeah, this illustrates something else because in mono it's nice colours, it's nice and harmonious picture, but like what is it? You're not conscious that really you're looking at shapes of leaves in space. But in stereo, you suddenly become conscious of what you're really looking at.
Oh yes. Totally.
Suddenly the leaves are curling up towards you, you can see behind them, around them.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Gosh, you didn't feel insect.
And you like spiders, right?
No. This is the spider one.
This is that's a nice, pretty picture, but
Yeah.
in the stereoscope it's going to be very real.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
That's scary.
Five times stronger than steel, apparently. But just their thinness, it means they're very sorry with that and kids look
It's
younger.
incredible, aren't it?
And we've got the turtle. Oh, I love this.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want me to tell you my joke?
I think we got the joke.
Oh, look, he's just so grumpy. He's just gorgeous. Oh, I could look at animals in 3D all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're sort of in an aquarium.
Yeah.
Postman.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have that effect.
Another owl up here as well.
Oh yeah, he's gorgeous.
Kind of Star Wars.
So fluffy.
This is a beauty. This lady is quite experienced. A lot of these people in the community now have been doing it a long time. They're very good at it.
If you put that back down there, that's it. Move along, yeah. Now I think the last shot we need is you going into there, a nice
Okay.
wide shot.
Yeah, sure.
So you walked into that, so so when I say go, you just go
You
forward.
go first.
You probably led the way, yeah.
Yeah, you go first. Then Brian. Yeah.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, so show you Emporium.
And then you were pointing at the.
I think I was on this side actually.
Were you?
Yeah, I was on this side.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do it one more time, one more
Yeah,
time.
one more time for
Oh, okay.
So I'll go first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go
And,
first.
and action.
And this is your Victorian Emporium, isn't it? This is where it all began with the Victorians.
On the top line, 1850s, Victorian praise.
3 photographs.
Just 3 photographs.
Crazy, yeah. Good. I'll get one more shot from here. Looking at the top. We're looking at the top bits.
I thought.
The range, aren't they? Parabolas.
Yeah.
Edison might fall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you just point up to those?
Oh yeah, these are still 1850s. You see the labels on them.
Brilliant. I think we're good.
Lovely.
Yeah, and I'll get some static ones
Maybe
later.
those
Yeah,
will come.
yeah.
Okay, should we pop downstairs and then
Right.
we've got to.
Yeah.
You want us to stop then, don't you?
Oh.
Thank you, Brian. You okay?
Yeah, good. It's heavy, everything. Did you get?
Sort of. I mean, I'm assuming it's all. Most of it's correct. Is it all correct? Because I know you guys were involved in it.
It's,
weren't you?
yeah. I mean, it took 12 years to get the script that we wanted, to actually do Freddy justice. And not to over-blow him and not to bias it in the direction.
Yeah.
So eventually we're happy with that.
Yeah.
We should have the film rolling now if I'm talking about this.
Right, hold on. I am now.
We've got to do it all again, sorry.
Yeah. Can you say that again? Yeah.
One time.
That's slightly off topic, don't worry.
Oh,
And,
Okay, well, I'm starting this. I'm going to pan to you two, okay, from here. So stand by and. Okay, go.
and this, Brian, is the amazing Queen section.
Yeah, we're downstairs now in Queenland and me-land, I suppose, because it goes from the beginnings of me learning about stereoscopy when I was a kid to all through the years with the Queen, and I had my stereo camera most of the time with
Did
me.
you? Wow, during
stage.
those times.
Yeah, a lot of backstage stuff, a lot of video shoots, sort of actually on stage, so I would give the camera to someone and say, just shoot away and see what happens.
Right.
So we got shots of us on stage, including Freddie. It
Wow.
was very photogenic.
Yes.
So this is kind of the history of my path through stereo, I guess.
That must. So,
Okay.
is that you as a kid?
Yeah. This is my little Brownie 127, which is not a stereo camera. No, these are mono.
Oh my god.
So you see this isn't a stereo camera, it's a Woolworths camera.
Oh,
which is
nice.
But I was able to take stereo pictures because I figured out how it was done. I figured out what we just did. So I took one picture here of my mum or my dad, moved the camera, took another one, put them in the Weetabix viewer, and they presto.
You created your own
stereo.
stereo.
Yes.
Stereo. Oh my goodness! And to have your camera on when you guys were at shows and doing gigs, I mean, you must have got more photos than anyone, have you? Like being in a band at that time?
I guess so, yeah. I didn't always have it with me. Of course, when you're on stage, you're quite busy, so...
Yes, sure.
And sometimes I would give the camera to someone and they wouldn't know how to use it, and they would start doing this, which you can't do. You can't turn the camera on its side.
Right.
Things like that, or else the lighting wouldn't be good enough, or it'd be blurred or something. But I've got a good collection of pictures of us. There's a lot of them in the book. So this is all about Queen in 3D, the book, which I think to date is our biggest seller.
Really?
We've done about half a dozen or maybe more books. Yeah.
Did when you was having your camera with the band, who hogged it? Who loved the camera most?
Oh, we love to be photographed
Yeah.
almost. Well, it's interesting. I really loved taking pictures.
Did he?
Yeah, it was Polaroids in those days. That was the sort of beginning of Polaroid photography. So he had his little camera and he would take pictures of all his friends and give them to him. He's a generous nature.
Yeah.
He would take the pictures. Oh, it's amazing. Have it, darling. And there's a picture in the book, I don't know if it's here, of me taking a picture of Freddie taking a picture of me. So it's
brilliant.
I haven't found the picture of me yet.
So you had that in common? You both liked it?
Yeah, we loved it, yeah. And Diki also got very into it. He got a stereo camera when we went to Japan, actually an adapter for a camera to make it stereo. And he got very into stereo photography too. And I actually photographed his wedding in 3D for him.
Oh, how amazing!
And he photographed mine.
Gosh, that's brilliant. And when you look at these gorgeous photos of Queen, sorry.
Sorry, that's all right. I was going to hope that you would walk out the frame, but
Sorry,
you
love.
just kind of stop.
Sorry.
So if I go back over, we'll cut in.
And
We're rolling.
when you look at the
Yeah. As you were.
when you look at these gorgeous pictures of Queen,
Yeah.
what's your overriding feeling?
Well, I think pride and pleasure, really. There is an element of nostalgia, sadness, of course, because we don't have Freddie anymore. That's always there. We actually don't have John anymore because John went off to a different place and doesn't want to be involved in what we do. He's happy that we do it, but we lost Freddie and John, and it makes me sad, but it also makes me happy that it happened.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what it gave us as well. The legacy is that we can still play these songs, people still love them. Multiple generations love them. It goes all across the generation. So in the concerts we have people of all ages, some people even older than me, and some people, right down to kids, grandchildren, and so, they all get into it, they all get it, they all interact with us. We're the champions, we'll rock you, they all get it and they come perform with us.
Yeah.
So I feel very proud of what we did, and hopefully we're still able to do it with Adam.
Yeah.
Adam gives us the opportunity to do it without imitating Freddie.
Sure. What do you think Freddie would make of this?
Oh, Freddie would love it, without
Would
a
he?
doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt, yeah. Absolutely. Lovely time. I wanted to call this exhibition Stereoscopy is Good for You, Darling, but my colleagues wouldn't have it for some reason. I don't know why that was, but if Freddie was here, obviously that's what he would say.
Would he that would be in honour of him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Mm.
He always put darling after everything, did he?
Not everything, but it was part of his vocabulary, as were certain other words which are less repeatable.
And if
This is me.
where's you?
There's his
That's you.
it was I got my dad to take. You can just see the tabletop here. The camera's resting on the table, and we slid it along the table to take the stereo.
Oh, brilliant.
So I kept nice and still there, like you did for me.
Yeah.
And he's taking the two pictures on my instructions. And this is my new bike, which they just bought me.
Oh, that must be a lovely memory of doing something with your dad.
It's
like
really great, yeah.
that. Oh, that's so special. What, if you had to sum up this place in a word or two, what would you say?
This place, it's kind of a shrine to stereoscopy, I suppose. And I think it's a proud moment for stereoscopy. It is a proud gallery, but to me, it's putting stereoscopy more on the map than it's ever been in the 21st century. This is where we are, I think.
No, catching up.
This is my little history. So 40 years ago of 3D for Sky TV, Sky 3D as it was in those days. It's just interesting.
It's funny, isn't it, how these things have just come and gone, as we talked about earlier. So that's all in sort of 3D, is it?
It's all through the other spectacles.
Yeah.
So it's a different system. So these are polarizing spectacles, but it achieves the same result.
Do you remember the first 3D film you ever watched?
Ooh. First 3D film. I don't know that. I remember the first 3D comic I ever saw was
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse. About 1952, I think. And I had it.
Here we go. Double specking. Specs on specs. Oh my gosh, look at your hand, Brian. There you are. Oh. That's so amazing. It's very clever, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very expertly filmed, and I used
See like that? I'm going to come around here and get a quick cutaway shot of you looking at the
Oh, you
screen.
want to touch his hand again?
Yeah, if you could.
Okay, and relive that
Yeah,
moment.
relive that moment.
Oh, look at your hand, Brian. Right there.
Yeah, it was very expertly filmed this because we were talking about the evolution of techniques, obviously, of stereo photography. So the cameramen were just amazingly very into it. And we interviewed James Cameron, talking about how he filmed Avatar. The first thing he was, what are you filming with? What is this camera?
Oh, really?
What are your angles here?
He's all the
cutting
tech.
there, yeah. Anything also David Attenborough was in this because he just made a 3D film about the dinosaurs coming back to life in the Natural History Museum.
Oh, I have to go and
So
see
he
that.
loves stereo. He was like, oh, we can swap stereos, you know. There's a lot of great stuff in this. And it's sad to me that you can't see this anywhere, but you can see it right in these exhibitions.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if you could get it out somewhere. That's the thing to do.
Well, I think in the future there will be media because also very much related to this is virtual reality.
Yes, yeah.
So now that's just been brought up.
Not sure we can show this shot.
No, probably not.
Probably not. No, we can show this shot.
He's the one who directed it. He's the one you can complain to.
Let's go girls, I like fun.
Yeah, vaguely pornographic.
Well, I think that's brilliant. We've got so much, Brian, haven't we? I think we've got loads.
I think we're brilliant. I think,
we could
yeah.
could we do a little coming up or something like
Yeah.
that? What should we do with me and Brian together?
Yeah.
Say,
Coming up, something about 3D and stereoscopy. No, stereo. Tis.
Okay. So,
Stereoscopy.
so I was going to say something.
Stereoscopy.
Tonight I'm with Brian. A biggie tonight.
See Queen's background. We've got a bit. This is quite nice as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
So a bit of this over here.
Yeah.
So I think let's try and get you all in.
Your lighting's very nice on me, but we'll deal with it. If you want.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, that's quite nice. Okay, so go for it.
Tonight I'm with Brian May, a biggie. Thank you, Brian. And we're going to see you in 3D.
We are in various places, in various guises, and a lot of other stuff.
We can touch. Can I touch you?
Yeah, because we live in 3D. We are in a 3D world, and she's real. Sequence which will fit up very little in this exhibition. But they're from the 1850s, and from the 1800s, and from Queen days, and from right now, because there is good for you.
Okay, right.
So.
Oh, I was going to ask you one more question, Brian, which was that lovely quote from, you can do it here, there's, you just filmed.
Yeah, okay, right, hold on. Stand by, I'm rolling.
There's a lovely quote from one of your stereoscopy colleagues. His name, what's his name? The one, Denis
Pellerin,
Yeah.
my great compass.
So there's a lovely quote from Denis Pellerin, and he says that stereoscopy has to be enjoyed like a fine wine. You can't gulp it. Is that correct?
It's true, it's designed to pour over it, which is foreign to today's culture. I mean, today's culture is so disposable. You've got photos on your iPhone and you just flick through. Do you ever look at them for more than a second at a time? Not really. But stereoscopy kind of invites you in to look around the image and actually be there and imagine that you're in that moment. So yes, it's a thing which invites you to kind of breathe and be in that moment that's been communicated to you. Yeah.
Okay, I think I might do one more coming up. It's a bit, shall I do one that's a bit shorter? Because that was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
yet.
okay.
So we'll
Shorter
say,
coming up.
We'll say, and tonight, got a biggie tonight. It's Brian May, and he is in 3D. We're also going to be talking about 3D with a bit of Freddy and a bit of wildlife.
And a turtle joke, right, come this way here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. That is lovely, that though, isn't it?
That's
Right.
what?
That is lovely, that machine.
Yeah, it's great.
Right, we are rolling
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Got a biggie for you tonight. It's Brian May, and we're going to be talking about stereoscopy. Sounds dangerous, have I got that right?
It's pretty dangerous, yeah.
And he is in 3D, and we are talking in 3D. I can touch you.
We're all in 3D
Alright.
all the time, but you see all kinds of stuff in 3D. Yes.
So stay tuned for 3D.
Superb. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
can I-
alright. That's fine.
Sorry, can I just take a stretch? Do you think you could make it clear that the exhibition, the book is out today?
Yes.
The exhibition opens on Thursday, the 3rd.
Yes. Well, actually, what we should do is go up and do Jane, and then we can talk about the book.
Excellent.
You're absolutely right. We haven't done the book. Good point.
Go for it.
Let's go upstairs and we'll come
So
down.
the book will start on the exhibition. The book
Yeah.
first and the crowd goes. Love the book.
So much.
I'm a little tired now.
Stop, isn't it? Thank you. Thanks, Brian. We'll come and do Jane now. Do you want to do it with her, Brian?
Yeah, need a cup of tea though. See you in a minute. I'm getting tired.